know you mentioned that you do operate through different partnerships to mentor the communities. So like how many lives have you impacted? How many like sort of loans or have you given? What are the numbers?
So number is probably 5. That's the employees at Neem. The reason for it, and I'm looking at Umair, I hope that we have impacted some of our team members' lives in a good way to inspire them. The reason for it is that for the last sort of 2 years, we also pivoted in our business. We started as what we called a venture builder, which was really a company that we thought that, look, yes, we have our financial wellness vision, but we can't really integrate in Pakistan with other companies because there were not many digital companies as of yet. I mean, a lot of people know, if you look at Pakistan 2-3 years, we were in a very different place to what's happening today. With also a lot of the VC capital going in the the digital ecosystem that has developed in Pakistan, plus COVID, right? The big push that came from COVID for people onboarding on digital products. So we pivoted the venture building business to become a venture on our own. So we moved to building what we call today embedded finance platform, which means that yes, you are right. We collaborate with other companies. There's one here in Islamabad. It's an agri-tech company called Bakar Kisan. And they're providing advisory services to about 16 million farmers across Pakistan. Today, Bakar Kisan is really keen to start providing loans to those farmers, or be able for those farmers to develop some basic saving accounts, insurance. But Bakar Kisan is not a financial services company. So that's where Neem comes in. But all of this takes time to develop, so we have been building our team, our technology, our products. Hopefully, inshallah, if I use the word right, in a few months' time, we will be launched on the market. So you'll be able, if you are part of some communities, you'll be able to see our products because our market strategy is business to customer. But yes, so at least I hope the five lives of our team members, and in the future, hopefully thousands, hundreds of thousands to millions.
That's amazing. I think the lives have impacted are the 16 million farmers through your intermediary with your partner. So that's the big impact you have created.
To be true.
Yeah. So okay. So now let's come to the discussion of mental health and emotional well-being of founders. So this is a topic which everyone can relate to. So it's relevant to the startup founders. It's relevant to the employees. It's relevant to the early team which is running the startup. It's relevant to the employees. It's relevant to us who are managing the incubation setups, the science parks as well, of how we are interacting with those leaders and entrepreneurs as well. So in your experience, how big is this problem? How common is it that entrepreneurs, founders and leaders are facing mental issues which they aren't really discussing? But so how in your observation, how common is this problem?
It's massive. There are some numbers around it. So there's about something over 582 million of entrepreneurs around the globe. So that's how many people today has decided to go on the path of entrepreneurship. And out of those, about 72% have experienced directly or indirectly mental health challenges. So it's massive. We just don't talk about it nearly at all. And we keep it under the cover for all the good and bad reasons, I would say. But let's explore.
That's a huge number of founders and startups that are facing these problems, but are discussed. So that it's a very important thing to have a discussion around this topic. And I got some numbers as well. So 65% of the startups fail for avoidable reasons. For example, like co-founder conflicts or other people problems. Moreover, I went through a couple of other articles as well, which stated that founders are 2 times more likely to suffer from depression, and they are 3 times more likely to suffer from substance abuse. So, why do you think it's more common among the entrepreneurs and leaders to face these problems versus an employee? So, why is it more common among these people?
So, when you think about life of an entrepreneur, the life path involves in it a lot of positive, exciting things, like the freedom that comes with it, right? The excitement of following your passion, the deep dedication, but the impact you create. But at the same time, there is a huge amount of different types of pressures that come on the role of the founder. And if we think about persona of, let's say, solo founder, so an individual founder, right? But I'll come back to the conflict because that's a big topic. But solo founder, so imagine the situation. So you get on the journey of, let's say you swap from a job that paid you, solid money, you had a stable job, your family was sort of happy with you, but you had this inkling that you wanted to go on the path and follow your passion and build something you thought about for a long time. So first hurdle for many people is how do you, in some way, get approval? A lot of people, we seek approval. How do you get support of your family? So this was of a big surprise for me because often we think about our closest family, people closest to us, as a support system. We have realized from our research that for a lot of entrepreneurs, when they decide to make this career shift or life path, this shift, it's hard because the path of being an entrepreneur comes also with financial instability, for that matter, with long hours, with the fact that you might have a lot of ambiguity to face, right? I mean, you are now with what happened with COVID or what happened with now the situation around sort of the crisis around the world, right? So there's direct impact on what you are trying to build. You are trying to raise funding. They're investors. They're asking you tough questions. And a lot of times you walk out of those rooms with question of a self-worth. Because when you get to hear the no's, often what happens to entrepreneurs is that we feel that the business that we are building represents us. The business equals myself. And that's a big thing to work on. So there's a number of pressures, again, that this life path entails. So what we are trying to sort of do or raise awareness on is that, yes, absolutely, if you feel that this is something you want to explore, that you feel you have the craving, I'm not saying don't go for it, but do additionally more to take care of yourself, because the design of this journey is such that it will push you into places where you will start putting yourself lower on your priority list, because many other things will take a prime. So that's why it's important for you to think about it, and we can talk what some of the things are that can help. But yeah, so it's very important because the journey can be quite tough.
Very interesting. Another thing I would like to mention is the discussion you were having upstairs about, like, I was talking to her about, like, in Pakistan we have this problem that once you graduate from university, you need to find a job, you need to get married, and then you have kids and this and that. So you need to follow a certain pattern. And I was amazed to know that it's similar in Slovakia as well. So she has seen the same sort of things happening in Europe as well.
Yeah, because it comes back to the expectation that people will have on you throughout your life, right? I mean, it often happens that people around us feel that they know much better than us how we should live, how we should design our lives, what decisions to make. And I think making the decision of becoming an entrepreneur with all the risk that it comes with it will not always go easy at your homes, behind the doors, right? I mean, and I see some smiles and nodding, so I experienced it myself equally. So people ask you the questions like, why would you do this if you have this, path that is stable and you can climb the ladder? So I guess it comes back to the deep knowledge of self. So more you will invest into understanding what really drives you, who you are, what is the next step you want to sort of take, what is the challenge you want to embark on. That will be really the compass that will guide you when the tough questions come. And I'm not saying you have to always answer to everybody's question. I think that everybody here in the room knows who are the relevant people to whom you want to even have the conversation. But yeah, so to your point, like, it happens equally in Pakistan, but it happens in Slovakia as well. When I said to my parents that I'm heading on this path, and when I said I'm coming to Pakistan, they were in a big awe, and there were a big amount of questions. But also over time, they have their own paths to dealing with things. But I had a pretty strong sense of what I wanted and of a compass, and that driven me towards the next steps.
So we have sort of determined that the mental challenges which are faced by founders are sort of similar across geographical boundaries. But talking in terms of founders' background, so for example, some founders are doing business or entrepreneurship to support their family.